Thank you very much. I want to commend you on one thing before we get started. You're the only city I know of that has 11 colleges and universities. And you have over 150,000 students running around your community. And so this is quite a challenge, and I commend you for being here today to be concerned about this issue. And this is really what I want to share with you. The Core Institute, you may wonder, well, what is that? Who is that? 1987, that's before some of you were born, some of my colleagues wrote a grant. They were like Nicole. They believed in assessment back in 1987 and started the Core Survey. Since then, it is now a Core Institute. For the first 15 years of the Department of Education, every grantee had to do a pre- and post-core. Now it is open that some campuses do other surveys, but this is still probably the most widely recognized survey that we have. So the data that you will see in your pro card, page 19, comes from what we call the executive summary of students in Texas. And most of the data that you will see is from the freshmen. Now you can get the executive data in different categories. You can get it for all students, you can get it for freshmen, you can get it for the athletes, and you can get it for the Greeks. But a lot of it is the underage, so we're looking more at the freshmen as we look at some of the data here. And to tell you what's happening in Texas. And you will find that probably in your community it's pretty much the same. So we look first at the alcohol use. In other words, in freshmen, 69.2% had used in the past year, and the past 30 days, 51.2%. All students is 77% and 61 in the past year, and 61.3% for 30 days. That was all students, but these are the freshmen and the underage that we're looking at. Then marijuana, of course, is the second. First of all, you see, what is the most abused drug? Alcohol. And we call it that way, other drug, because some people do not want to call it a drug, but it is. It's the most abused drug. By far, all the other categories. But then marijuana is our second, and then other illegal drugs comes in here. Now we're seeing a lot of mixture on college campuses. Prescription drug and marijuana and alcohol, they just do it all together. So we're seeing new problems break out. Okay, go with the next one. This talks a little bit about the gender differences. And you can see with the freshmen, the girls, the guys are about the same. Now, you jump over to the Greeks, and you see the males are much higher than the females. Now, the males tell me, the females will not have any alcohol in their residence or all. But the males say they're just a joke. They come to our place to drink. And, you know, they're acting like goody-goodies when that's not really the case. But the athletes, male athletes, are a lot more, and particularly the consequences, we'll talk a lot later about male athletes when they drink, which is we teach them to be aggressive, and then they drink and they don't know that they're still aggressive. So that's where your domestic violence and things really come in with your male athletes, more so than the female athletes. These are some of the things that we'll see. The binge drinking in 2 weeks. Binge drinking, guys, it's 5 drinks in a 2-hour setting. Girls, it's 4 drinks in a 2-hour setting. My theory on this, by the time they get to 4 and 5, they've lost count. By the time you're about 2, you've lost count for some of our females who may be thin and such. So anyway, but this is the binge drinking way we do this. Driving under the influence. You can see what the freshman is. I think the athletes were 49% driving under the influence. That I have, knowing this from remembering. Again, there's a lot of these young people driving around your city under the influence. Then we look at the next one, performing on the test poorly. We have lots of research that shows where they go from an A to the B to the C to the D. And dropouts. You know, Texas is putting a big emphasis right now on retention. We have a $1.8 million grant to work on retention and graduation. And they don't even talk about substance abuse as how important that is. I have documentation that will show just the public universities in 1 year, freshman dropouts, we lost $19 million of taxpayer money last year. That didn't include your community colleges, which is 72 in Texas. So think about this as this $19 million of taxpayer money that we have lost just from this type of driving under influence and those kinds of things, performing poorly on our tests. Then there's some other consequences, being taken away, taken advantage of sexually. Nationally, we know that we have at least 70,000 sexual assaults reported each year. That's a low figure. I can tell you, having been an administrator on a college campus, just getting people to admit and to report a sexual assault is very, very difficult. And we have far more sexual assaults than is reported. In other words, being hurt. We know nationally we'll have 500,000 injuries this year. Again, we know we have many more than that. All of this is connected with alcohol. Drank alcohol the last time they had sexual intercourse, 18.9%. So these are all figures that came from the core survey. Okay, I asked for 2 slides to be put in. I think we covered this last year with you, Dr. Liu's research from the Department of Health Services. But these are 2 that I keep quoting and we want to make an impression on. First of all, if you can see, where are our college students drinking? Are they drinking in the residence hall? At home? No, they're in your community. 78% of them. That's why it's so important that the community help us in this issue. Because we can say no on the campus, but they're out in the community. So 78% get their alcohol in the community. The next one I think is very important, and that's who is giving them their alcohol. We know 81% of our students get their alcohol from an older student. Now, what the older student needs to realize, that if they give alcohol to a younger student, minor, and they're convicted, it is a Class A misdemeanor, which is on their record forever. They will not get to be student teachers. They will not get to go to military. They will not get to be a lawyer, because it's on their record forever and ever. And we don't stress that enough. That's where they're getting their alcohol, that what you are doing when you're having these parties and providing alcohol to the minor, how you are influencing your record for the life. So those are 2 that I really wanted to bring out to you from her study, and you can certainly pull up her study. I think it's in your handout there, and see everything, because it's pretty closely related to our core survey. So these are just some things that we hope you will help us. You already are in San Antonio. I live at Canyon Lake now, so I read the San Antonio paper and I keep up with what's going on. And you are doing a great job helping us on our college campus. Just continue. We need your help. We're losing the most valuable resource we have, our students. And you need to help us be able to help them to get an education and be a productive citizen. Thank you.